Today you're watching 22 News in Focus, and we're talking about the Massachusetts End-of-Life Options Act. We've been speaking with Andrew Beckwith. He's the president of the Massachusetts Family Institute, who is opposed to the proposed law. Andrew, are you working on an organized front of multiple organizations?
We are. It's a loose coalition that's remained sort of vigilant on this issue since the 2012 statewide referendum. As I mentioned earlier, we've got minority leaders, faith community leaders, all these doctors and other medical professionals, as well as members of the disability community, all reaching out to their own constituencies and really educating on what this bill would do, countering the narrative this is somehow about choice or freedom, and explaining that this is really going to hit the most disadvantaged members of our Commonwealth who don't have proper access to health care, who are going to be targets of the insurance companies, really, when they can save money through assisted suicide instead of end-of-life treatments to preserve life and sustain it. So our goal, as it's always been, is to explain what this bill would do, and then we let our constituents reach out to their legislators and inform them that they're opposed to the bill. And so far, that's been successful. We're going to keep doing that. And hopefully that when this session runs out, which I think is still scheduled for July 31st as of right now, that this bill will not have made it out of committee.
I want to ask you now what your campaign's plan of action is.
Well, prior to Corona, we were speaking a lot of churches and other community events. This is one of the issues that we educate people on. We're encouraging constituents to write letters opposition to their legislators, so really sort of educate the lawmakers on this. And there's only about, I think, 60 or just under 60 co-sponsors for this bill, which has been spearheaded by Representative Louis Kafka for many years. So that's less than the 81 you need to pass it in the House. So we're encouraged that it's not gaining momentum. We hope that it'll stay in committee, because the voters in Massachusetts rejected it when they had the right to do so directly in 2012. And it's our hope that as we keep educating, that legislators will remember that and know that their constituents are not in favor of this bill.
And have you been using social media, commercials, other outlets to get your message across?
Well, look, unlike the proponents of this bill, we don't have a lot of money to put behind it, but sure, we use social media, emails, in-person gatherings back when we could do that easily. So more of a viral campaign. But people get it. They understand that this is a bad idea. It fundamentally alters the medical profession. Doctors in Massachusetts don't want it. And it's going to put some of our most vulnerable people at risk, and especially with the sort of scare of medical rationing that we've had to talk about now with the COVID-19 pandemic. This is the last thing that we want to do, is make assisted suicide, so medically initiated death, an option for those who are making choices about scarce resources.
And do you have a specific target audience?
Again, ultimately, it's in the hands of the legislature at this point. Most likely the House. That's kind of where we put our efforts. But primarily, we're educating the electorate and asking them to do the work of contacting their legislators as constituents to say that they don't want this to happen. So education is our main thrust. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So education is our main thrust. There's a lot of bills out there to pay attention to. There's a lot of spin on this issue by the proponents of the bill. We try to cut through that and let people know what it's really about and equip and empower them to contact their state representatives.
And who in the legislature supports your stance?
Well, again, there's only about 60 sponsors, so the majority have not signed on to this, and we're hopeful that that they would not support it if it came to a vote. But it's a bipartisan issue, and it's people sort of on the more conservative side ideologically oppose it, but also John Kelly, who I've met working on this issue, he represents the disability community. He and I may not agree on almost any issue, but we agree on this issue. So it's really a broad spectrum ideologically and politically that are in opposition to this bill.
Andrew, I want to ask you, which legislatures will you be targeting to get them to not vote on this bill? Legislators, that is.
So my organization, we don't have a specific list of targeted legislators. We asked the constituents to do the work calling their own representative, from their district and put the word out. So I guess we're targeting everybody, you could say it that way.
Okay. And if the bill passes in the House and Senate, then would it go on to the governor?
Yes, I mean, that's the procedural process for it. I don't know where the governor stands on this. I know he has a background in healthcare. So I would think that he would understand the problems with this bill from a healthcare perspective, what it would do to the industry, to the profession. Hopefully we won't get to that point. Again, at this point, the legislative session is supposed to end in just a couple weeks now, on the 31st. So we're hoping it never gets out of committee and that it stays there where it belongs.
And so you just said you're not sure where the governor stands on this, but if you could talk to him directly, what would you say to him?
Well, I'd say, look, I mean, Mr. Governor, you've worked in the healthcare profession. You understand what this would do with the insurance companies, to the medical profession itself. This is not what the most vulnerable among us in the Commonwealth need. They need the protection of our laws to make sure that their lives don't become another line item in a hospital or insurance company's budget.
And lastly, I want to ask you, if the bill passes, what will be next? Will you continue to advocate for doctors and patients to seek alternatives to medically induced death?
Well, we'll always advocate for life across the spectrum, including at the end of life, and let people know that they should have a reason to live, not be thought of or treated as burdens to our society. And we'll continue to advocate as best we can and cross that bridge if we have to when we come to it.
All right, Andrew Beckwith, thank you. And we'll have some final words when we return. You're watching 22 News in Focus.